Summer. The porch light was broken. Glass swept neatly into a pile beside the front door. Inside, 3 purses sat on the floor. 3 sets of keys. 3 women. Gone. No signs of forced entry. No blood. No struggle. No trace of Sherrill Levitt, her daughter Suzie, or Suzie's friend Stacy McCall has ever been found. It was June 7, 1992. Springfield, Missouri. Suzie Streeter was 20 years old, finishing her first year of college. Stacy McCall was 18, graduating from Kickapoo High School that same night. Sherrill Levitt was 47, a cosmetologist who owned the small home on East Delmar Street. The night before, the girls had attended graduation parties across town. Plans changed late. They were supposed to stay at a friend's house, but ended up back at Sherrill's instead. Everything about the evening was ordinary. Then came a detail nobody could explain. The next morning, friends arrived to pick up Stacy for a trip to a water park. They knocked. No answer. The door was unlocked. Inside, the television flickered. Sherrill's cigarette sat on the nightstand. The dog, a small Yorkshire Terrier, was agitated but unharmed. All 3 women's cars remained in the driveway. Their purses and personal belongings were untouched. The only thing missing was the women themselves. Friends assumed they had simply gone out for breakfast. Hours passed before anyone called police. By then, the crime scene had been contaminated. Multiple people had walked through the house. Someone had even cleaned and replaced the answering machine tape, erasing a message that an early visitor described as obscene and threatening. That tape has never been recovered. Police searched the surrounding area. They brought dogs. They checked nearby fields and wooded lots. Nothing. No footprints leading away from the house. No witnesses who saw or heard anything during the night. 3 women had vanished from a quiet residential street in a mid-sized American city without leaving a single piece of physical evidence behind. Families gathered at the police station, waiting for answers that have never come. But here's what nobody talked about at the time: the broken porch light. It was the only physical anomaly at the scene. The glass had been swept up, placed in a neat pile near the entrance. Who breaks a porch light and then carefully cleans up the evidence? That single detail suggests planning. It suggests someone who wanted darkness at that front door, and it suggests someone who had time. The first theory investigators pursued was that a stranger had targeted the home. A man named Robert Craig Cox, a convicted kidnapper living in Springfield at the time, told associates he knew the women would never be found. Cox had a history of violence against women and was later convicted of an unrelated murder. He has never been charged in this case. But there was a problem. Cox has never provided a single verifiable detail about the disappearance. A second theory centered on a local gravedigger named Larry DeWayne Hall. Hall was convicted of abducting and murdering a young woman in Illinois and confessed to multiple other kidnappings across the Midwest. His travel patterns placed him in the Springfield area around June 1992. And yet, Hall's known method involved stalking solitary victims in rural areas. 3 women taken simultaneously from an urban home did not match his pattern. Others pointed to drug connections. A massive methamphetamine operation ran through the Ozarks in the early 1990s. Some investigators suggested Suzie Streeter may have had peripheral contact with individuals in that network. The theory was never substantiated with direct evidence, but it offered one explanation for why bodies might be so effectively hidden. And then came something nobody expected. In 2007, Springfield police authorized ground-penetrating radar at a hospital parking garage that had been constructed shortly after the disappearance. The scan returned anomalies consistent with disturbed earth beneath the concrete. Authorities ultimately determined the readings were inconclusive. The garage was never excavated. The decision remains controversial. What this unsolved disappearance reveals is something difficult to accept. 3 people can vanish from their own home in a populated neighborhood, and 30 years of investigation by local, state, and federal agencies can produce no definitive answer. The Springfield Three case changed how Missouri law enforcement handles the first hours of a missing persons report, the contaminated scene, the erased answering machine tape, the hours of delay before anyone treated this as a crime. Every procedural failure compounded the silence. We have better forensic tools now than existed in 1992. DNA technology has advanced beyond what investigators could have imagined. None of it has mattered, because without a crime scene, without remains, without a single witness, even the most advanced technology has nothing to analyze. The case remains open. The families have never stopped searching. The porch light was broken. The glass was swept clean. 3 purses sat untouched. 3 women walked out of their own lives and into nothing. No bodies, no confession, no closure. What kind of planning does it take to erase 3 people so completely that an entire city spends 30 years searching and finds not a single answer? The Unsolved Vault. New cases every week.